Courtney and Jasmine. I'm so bummed to see you guys out.
Us too.
I think we have to start with one thing that we always say on RHAP's podcast is if you ever see two teams in the same frame, then you know the team in the back is still in it. Mm-hmm. And you happened to show up, you were still in it when you got to the origami. How far behind were you, and did you think that you were close to making the time up?
How far? So in those moments, like, I don't think we were really looking at our watches to know exactly like how much time had passed, but it didn't seem like much, like not like an hour or 2 hours or anything like that. It was just like minutes, 15 to 30 minutes max. So when we arrived to the dojo to do folded and we saw all these shoes outside, we were in the taxi so excited, like, oh my God,
there's hope. Okay,
there's so many shoes out here.
Like counting them.
Yeah, we thought that we at that point had made up the time and we're going to be making it out of there fine.
Yeah, but both of those challenges, of course, from what we're able to see last night, were equally challenging.
Yeah.
And we got to watch it on Jazzy's birthday, which was yesterday.
Happy birthday!
Birthday gift to me.
Well, I gotta wonder what would be the worst thing, is getting eliminated on your birthday or watching yourself get eliminated on your birthday.
You're right. Okay. Great.
Yeah, it was fine though. Like, even in the emotions of watching ourselves, getting ready to be eliminated, there was still such great pride and just gratitude that we got to experience the amazing race, and just really thankful that we took a chance on ourselves to even try.
Yeah. There's so much joy in that, because sometimes people count themselves out before they even try. And you never really know what the outcome is going to be. So if there's something for us, when we're passionate about something, if it feels like, oh, this feels really good, let's go for it. There's really not a lot of hesitation with that, because you don't know how much time you really have on the race and then also in life. So why second guess yourself? Just go.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so inspirational. I would love to know what the Amazing Race, what significance it's had in your life, and when did you decide that this was a thing you were going to go for?
Yeah. So when Courtney and I started dating, The Amazing Race was one of the main things that we watched.
It was a requirement.
Unknowing to me, this is the first time hearing of it, but so it just spoke to both of our desires to travel. So we have both been out of the country internationally, individually. While we were in nursing school, we had the opportunity to both do cultural immersion programs. I traveled to Barbados, Courtney traveled to Tanzania. And so traveling is just something that we both strongly desire to do. And so then you add in challenges and teamwork and just all these great things. And it was such an inspiration watching the teams of the other seasons. And so, while we're in our apartment, it's just like, okay, we can do this.
We can do this. So, and we were so active. There's like two ways to watch things. You can be passive or you can be active.
We were active.
We were very active. Okay. Imagine the river dance.
Oh my
that
gosh.
Was us. We were doing it in our
and we were not on the top floor, we were on the second floor. So there was someone below us that had to hear us doing the river dance. So take that and put all the things together. Like, we just said, why not? Something that we've just been reflecting on is how often we hold back from trying things because you feel like you have to have everything perfect and in order. And we did not, but we still said, let's do it. So,
I don't think we definitely weren't the most fit. Okay. I looked at the other teams and like, are y'all track stars?
Oh my gosh. Listen. So from the time they said go, it's like Phil said go and some of the other teams disappeared. And we were still like, just getting ready to put the one foot in front of the other. So that was a little just like, ooh, okay. We in this thing.
Well,
Norton, we're gonna hurt you.
Courtney, I have to say, last night I really identified with you as a former band geek myself.
Listen, okay, Jazzy is the sports person.
I also was in band.
Okay, but you're more sporty than me.
Yeah.
I'm not like super girly girl, but I just, I don't know. I don't know why my mom never put me in soccer, but that was my first time for 2 weeks. I don't know. I remember that day, we both were like, oh, we could do it. And then we had to take that moment again. And I said yes more quickly than Jazzy, but that should have been you.
It should have been. And we have asked ourselves over and over again, like, well, why did you volunteer?
Yeah.
Like, what was that about?
I remember Jazzy was doing the bun scramble and how physical that was. Because after, it took so much upper arm strength. Like, her arms were really, muscles were tense. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this but I just should have stuck with the plan.
And that is unfortunate as it was, that's what led to the decision. It also speaks to how we show up for each other, because she was thinking about me, and had we had a conversation about it, I would have been like, oh, that's so sweet, but I'm okay, like I can do this. But it just shows how much we care about each other, that she would even feel, because Hong Kong had been 4 days before that, so I was totally fine, but she was still we were just wanting to show up for each other because we were in it together, and we were trying to get ourselves from being behind, and getting to another leg. So it was just love. That's all.
Yeah. Well, for sure, your love for each other and your support of each other was really evident throughout the race. And Jasmine, I want to know, what was it? How did you manage to keep yourself positive while you're watching Courtney struggle with this task, and how do you keep it together for her?
I think that's maybe just something that I do naturally. We're both nurses, and so Courtney had worked in ICU, I worked in the emergency department, and so we're both kind of used to having to keep our emotions at bay and just staying positive. What helped me in that moment was kind of going back to Hong Kong, how we found ourselves neck and neck with Mike and Larry, leaving the Lions dance, and just knowing how deep we dug to, rev ourselves up and get through that challenge. And so I just knew that we would be able to do it again. And I know Courtney is resilient. And even, yes, she wasn't sporty, I still was like, I know she's going to get it, because we're both very determined women. We don't start something and then, give up on ourselves. We're going to continue to try. And I really held on to that. I knew she was going to get it. And it was very challenging to watch her, because she was trying so hard. And they showed it last night. It was a hot day. It was emotional, because brutal. We started in the middle of the pack. You couldn't have asked us.
Did we think we were gonna
right. We had found our groove. We were in the middle of the pack. We had figured out things that we needed to do differently. And then, things just kind of went, a little differently than what I expected. But you have to stay positive, because if you don't, then you're forcing yourself to lose automatically otherwise.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was curious, is there anything that we didn't get to see that sticks out to you as a big memory from the race?
Yeah, our goofy moments in the taxi. It wasn't all stressful. We honestly were taking it in when we were driving, in our taxis, taking in the atmosphere and the scenery, because oh my gosh, Osaka, Kyoto, Hong Kong, they were all beautiful. I mean, yeah, we're here and there's beauty in our backyard, but when you go somewhere else that you've never been, our eyes were like this the entire time, oh my God, we're really here. So that's an aspect of the race that, even though it's not really shown as much, we got to experience that. We got to be a part of their culture, the kindness, hospitality 2.0. Oh my gosh, Japan would definitely go back.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow.
Or not.
Oh, right. Those backpacks, by the way.
I don't know how many people have picked up on like how plump our backpacks looked, but man, like
we have to get rid of some things.
We did. And again, it goes back to us being nurses.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be prepared. You want to have what you think you're going to need. But
you can't prepare for the unknown. Okay, you can't.
Yeah, there's only so much
you can do. Yeah.
And we know that now. Thank you, Amazing Race.
But I think the life lesson there is that you need to just go in and have the experience, and that's the best attitude to go into the show with, because you know you're statistically unlikely to get $1 million, but you can get those experiences. And I think the two of you, like the time you had out there, it shows that you had the best time.
Yeah, we did. Because the experiences are worth more than $1 million, honestly, because what they curate, like it's not often that you would be able to do that for yourself. You know, these unique experiences, they would take a lot, you know, for two people to have to do for themselves, but they really put a lot of like research into it. And, you know, we really felt like we were immersed into the culture. So that was like really exciting for us.
Absolutely. On top of the things that you get to learn about yourselves. And then it's not every day that you get to see something that you've done play back in front of you on TV. So it's like, that's an amazing, wild experience. And I think that's a big part of it too. You know, a lot of times you become so afraid of making mistakes. And so the fact that we put ourselves out there on national TV, and now, you know, people have seen us struggle, you know, not that we didn't struggle in life before that, but there's a relief and like an awakening that comes to just having your mistakes and
knowing that
your
you're
moments shown on TV. So now it's like, if we were to decide to do something else and we become afraid, it's like, well, no, we did The Amazing Race. People have seen us on TV crying or having fits. Like, what is there to be afraid of at this point? Yeah.
Well, with that in mind, what's next for you? What are you up to now?
Honestly, like clearing out the things that are just, because like what The Amazing Race taught us is choose joy. The things that bring you most passion, most joy, choose that again and again. So things that, you know, you might get caught up in like doing the mundane stuff, but just clearing that out. And for me, it's been allowing myself to have the time and space to really discover what those things are. Because sometimes you can get so hyper focused on one thing, and oftentimes it's school. You know, you're like trying to achieve this and
build a career.
Now, you know, and it's like, it's okay to take a break. Because when we did nursing school, it was like drinking from a fire hydrant. Our program was accelerated. It was 15 months. It was at Duke University. It was the hardest thing. Oh my God.
That's a lot.
You know, and then now, you know, working on a master's and giving myself permission to pause. Pause and really like do other things that light me up. You know, it's all gonna fall into place. And there's no need to rush ourselves through life. Because I mean, what are you rushing towards? Your death? So take your time. I know that's kind of like grim, but take your time, seriously.
And enjoy the moments while the moments are here, right? Because you don't know when they're going to be over. So like
leg 3.
Exactly. What a way to have that lesson sink in.
Oh my gosh, well.
No.
We did
not know.
Well, it has been a genuine delight to talk to the two of you. I really loved watching you on the race, and I wish we'd seen more of you, because clearly you are so much fun.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.